Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in today's video, we're going to show the farming results over the last 10 days that I've had, and usually I actually wait about 4 to 5 weeks depending on the type of content I have to produce. However, I actually really wanted to share this one with you because I've had quite an amazing 10-day run. First of all, you can see that I am going through the PCD, and if you know the nature of this video, you'll know what you'll probably see at the end. So let me know in the comments below if you made it to the end of the PCD, i.e. A successful perfect gate key run. Which item would you choose? And if you watch a little bit further, you'll see my selection as well. Now, a couple of thoughts that I wanted to share as part of this video. So first of all, obviously, you've seen my ups and downs with the gacha luck on obviously both Eva and Flamelopus. And before I addressed, I guess, why I summoned on Flamelopus and kind of like my stone budget for the next few months, I will say that obviously, just like the ups and downs in summoning, the gacha in terms of running keys and the RNG associated with things like drops of treatises, chants, obviously, and even the newer codexes and the hard to get opuses, it'll come up and down, and depending on how RNG treats you, you might have things come in bunches, or you might have nothing come at all. And so hopefully you can be patient just like I try to be. I mean, I try to lead a good example for my fam out there. However, it does get frustrating in time. But that being said, when you are putting in the effort, and this goes both ways with the things like grinding, if you put in your effort with grinding, and if you put in the effort with budgeting on stones, you hope that eventually RNG will treat you well, and you'll do real well in terms of obviously getting either the right drops when it comes to grinding, or in case of summoning for featured units to get the right unit with featured units. Now, so I've had people say, oh, it doesn't really matter. Just save for a 10 pull and just pull whenever you feel like it. There's no point in saving because, RNG can be really nasty and so on and so forth. I will argue that is true. However, unless your account is completely cursed for 2 or 3 years, I look at RNG as an individual event, and everyone should as well. I mean, each summoning event is essentially individual. It's a roll of the dice, right? And so if you give yourself more favorable chances of summoning, for example, for a featured unit that you really want, as opposed to a featured unit that you could either side grade or potentially not need immediately for your team, you can put those stones to use in the future. And for example, say you're unlucky like myself, get broke on 1 or 2 banners. Yeah, that sucks. There are going to be times that you're going to be hitting the featured unit in 110 pull. And as long as you aim for overall higher quality banners than average banners, your account's going to do really, really well. Because I've talked to my friend, obviously you've seen his account and playing the game, even my sons, like, I have my younger sons, they just summon whenever, 100 stones, single pull, 1,000 stones, just whenever. I would argue that over the last few months, they haven't really gotten as many units as they could have gotten if they saved for example, for Eva or Flamelopus. They actually started summoning on the general banner, which I would advise anyone, if you're new or a veteran to game, do not ever summon on the general banner. Your odds of hitting a unit that you absolutely need, unless you're very new to the game, don't do it. And even if you're new to the game, concentrate on the featured banners. The newer units are generally more powerful, and hitting an older unit is just not going to do much for you. Alright, so I'm just going to take a pause in Gamer Dad's lecture as usual. In this section of the video, you'll see that I actually hit the stamp cap, at least in global. Now, in Japan, they opened up the stamp cap higher, but right now we can only get a maximum of 1,600 cat stamps, at which the caps will kind of lay down as be asleep, so you can't tap on them anymore to get more cat stamps. Remember that at any time you can redeem those cat stamps by pressing on the large king cat that's in the beginning of the white gate key kind of thing, and then you can get us redeemed for all those really sweet badges. Some of them are the 35/35s. There's some 40s out there. Very, very, very useful. So if again, Another side benefit of grinding keys, you will have that 10% chance of getting a white gate key, which can lead you to either El Zion, which is a lot of chants, treatises, or codexes, or opuses, or just getting more cat stamps, which can unlock future rewards for you. All right. So now that that part is over, I would like to say, obviously, we know that I am pretty broke after summoning for all these banners. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Gamer Dad, you must have a plan in mind, right? You're not just going crazy, spending everywhere, and even becoming Whale Mac. And so, again, I'm not going to become Whale Mac, although I did essentially use all my free-to-play stones and whale on those two banners, but in terms of, obviously, real cash, no plans in the future just yet. But back to why I summoned for Flamelopus and Eva and what my plans are in the future. So just as a general rule, we have the power of foresight. So what that means is, because we're in global, we're still 3 to 4 months away from catching up to Japan. And at one point we were up to a year or 15 months or even 18 months behind Japan. And because of that, we could see what Japan gets. We can see the order of the banners they get, the type of units they get, and depending how far into the future we got to see ahead of, we can actually plan our summons where the current banner we see may already be replaced by some unit in the future. And so if you're able to plan ahead and essentially survive with a lesser roster, you can save a bunch of stones and you can essentially push it forward such that, say you spent 5,000 stones on, I don't know, whatever unit, and then you see that 6 months later there'll be a unit that would be better than this one. You can say, well, I don't need this particular unit. I can now save 5,000 for that future. And then remember that if you get a strong enough unit, that unit can essentially last in your roster for at least 6 to 12 months, if longer. How my friends and I usually summon is that we try to summon for unique units that have unique abilities. I think I mentioned this in previous videos. So for example, something like Eva is very unique. It's a global first unit. It's got a lot of interesting mechanics. Flamelopus has interesting mechanics such as that super high mod in the first 3 turns and some other unique mechanics. Melissa, for example, is another example of unique mechanics. Zone setters, specialized supports. You can argue like Pisaka, for example, with the extra sitting, so on and so forth. If you use them and you summon for you and you can foresee that they're going to be used for at least a year, you're probably getting a really good value of it. Like, look, as a good example, I summoned for Rosetta about a year ago. So last February or so. Same with Melissa. I got both of those a year ago. We're already 14 months into the future. And both of those units are maybe not as ultra powerful as before. You can't even say they're not meta. Like, I still use AS Rosetta in my top tier Magic team. Melissa is still used for those crazy 1 and 2 turn strategies, and then obviously still enables your really powerful DPS to do a ton of damage. Alright, so just remember, the power of foresight really allows you to predict the future and plan your stands ahead. And so just quickly saying that for Gamer Dad, being that I've been playing since day one as a global account, I have almost all the units in the game currently, minus a few. And so I know what's coming up. I know that, for example, spoiler alert, guys, there's going to be AS Milsha, there's going to be AS Yifa sometime, AS Utaha, AS Radius, blah, 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 blah. But bunch of those. I don't have to commit any stones for those banners because I can side grade them for sure. And you know that my general rule of 3 to 6 months to side grade a unit, such as the ones you see right here, ES Negi and AS Kikyo, they came out in December and we're about 5 months in, finally got the 5th one of each of those and able to side grade without paying stones. And so if you are willing to be a little bit restrictive and able to kind of delay your gratification, you can wait 3 to 4 or 5 months for a unit. I can't say that me upgrading AS Kikyo, you know she's still viable. She is top tier meta for win slash, and so this is how I'm able to say I can go broke on Flamelopus, knowing that she's a unique character. There's still the possibility of future upgrades either through Manifest, AS, and so on and so forth. And so I know that I'll probably be using her for about 6 to 12 months in the future, in which case I consider that very, very good value. So just as a tip, whether or not you're new or older to the game, try to predict ahead. Right now we can still do that, but in the future when we do catch up to Japan, we won't have that ability to do so. So obviously plan ahead if you can. Try to save, and certainly don't summon in general on a banner that you can side grade. In this case, I was extremely fortunate with my 3 Chernobog opuses. My altar waifu has come home to me, and I'm extremely happy. I am I will be doing a 5-star review of her in the next coming days, but man, I've been waiting for her since she was announced in Japan, and I have nothing to say about that. So really, I could have spent stones if I really wanted to on that banner, but it's probably better to just save those stones and use it for a banner that I don't have any unit of, right? This is how you save tons and tons of stones, and if you have a comprehensive enough roster and able to delay summoning, being that you can beat most of the content in the game or even pass off on super bosses until later on, then you'll be able to save a bunch of stones and not worry so much. Alright, so back to this video. Like I said, you can see I did a lot in these last 10 days. Tons and tons of chant scripts, and 3, in my opinion, very significant upgrades to my roster. Not only that, the 255 ES Negi was something I hinted at in a previous video, and I finally got to do it live here on the video with you. I'll link the discussion of that below. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.